Get down.
Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informants informing, that information forming. Important you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortunately, blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. That game plan, show out like a jotter, pop out like a cutter. I'm telling the kick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes in my diddy boots, ain't no stop. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. Yeah. If having hope is dangerous, call me Evil Knievel. You leading on the wrong side, living with peasant needles. So lethal, made Shane Black wanna write a sequel. Cause I snuggle my dream till it's seen as illegal. And I still probably will, cause I can never give up. I got my goals calling me, how could I never pick up? Either we make up or just break up. And the snake hits get the rake up. Yeah, selfish, I'ma cake up if I don't shake me to wake up. Let my depression catapult me to succession. Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle a lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, they pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. Gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation. No congratulations on the celebration. I know I'm dope without a need of a validation.
Hey, everybody. Happy Thursday. You already know it is what? My favorite day of the week. Why? Because I'm here with who? With you. And you know what we came to do. Welcome to the Bravo with Sheila Network. I am who? Your girl, Lady Dawn B, who is your gracious Thursday night host here on the Bravo with Sheila Network. And I am so happy to be here with you on tonight. So you know what we do. Hit that trio, that like, subscribe, and share. Let's get it in early and grow this platform. We want to get the good word out so that others can come in and join in this amazing conversation. February has been amazing, and I'm excited. I've just been excited, period. So I'm excited again on tonight. This whole month, I'm just excited. It's a month of excitement. I hope y'all are excited too, because I am. But before we do anything, we want to always pay homage to the curator of this amazing space in the person of none other than my Auntie Bravo. You know her as Pastor Sheila Ingram. So we give you salute, Auntie Bravo. Bravo to you. Thank you so much for, again, always yielding me the captain's chair on Thursday night to come and have great conversation with you guys. Well, let's just do a little recap. Got some amazing people in the building on tonight. Mi Familia is here, and I am excited. I can't wait. You're going to love them just as much as I do. But on this month, we have, and happy Black History Month. We know that this is the month that we celebrate it, but you know, we Black History every day. We don't need 1 month. It's every day. We celebrate us every day. Our culture is worthy of an everyday kind of celebration. I'm just saying. But we started out the month with this series called When Loved Right, which is a little bit of a spinoff to the verses that we had back in December, I believe, from the ladies' room and the men's lounge, where we talked about when loved right, women glow, and when loved right, men grow. All we're trying to do is improve relationships one with the other. But the most important relationship, and the one that we have to start with first, is the one with ourselves. So while we were talking, I want to just put it out there. We are not professionals here. We are not experts. We are here to have good conversation. We are here to share our experiences and to help grow one another. We're not here to convict. nor to convince. We are just here to have real talk with real resolutions. Why? Because if we don't communicate with one another, we are going to be in a world of trouble. And we want to improve the communication so that we can be better as individuals. It helps us to be better as families. It helps us to then create a better community and helps us to be better for the kingdom. Now, while we are, as you know, I am a God girl. However, we are not necessarily a Christian based channel. However, again, y'all know I'm a God girl. So, Jesus going to be in here somewhere at some point. And we respect everyone's views, everyone's feelings, everyone's beliefs, that we want to have open dialogue. So again, I appreciate you tuning in with us here on the Bravo with Sheila with Network. I am always happy to be your Thursday night host, Lady Dawn B. I want to greet some people up here in the comment section already in the house. We see Anae Kenya, who is the number one bravette in the house. She is never a time she is absent. She's going to get the perfect attendance award before it's all said and done. All right, so y'all holler at my girl. And then we got Alicia Harris, my sis, in the building. What's up, Alicia? What's good? Thank you for joining. And then we have my sister, my beautiful sister, Carolyn Hayes. What's up, sis? Thank you for popping on. Again, y'all know what to do. Hit that trio. Don't be shy. Like, subscribe, and share. And we want to also say good evening to those who are in the expensive seats up in the silent section. We see you. We love you. We thank you for tuning in, but we don't want you to be shy. Nobody's going to hurt you. Come on down to the comment section and chill with us for a while. So for the month of February, here we go. And the psalmist voice, aka Pastor Chris, is in the house saying, let's go. Hello, family. Blessings to you, Pastor Chris. He is one of the co-hosts of the Men's Lounge. He's somewhat the squad leader. And if you missed the Men's Lounge, I promise you go back and catch the replay. If you missed the Ladies Room, go back and catch the replay. If you missed the Redeeming Me series, go back and catch it. Listen, just go back and catch all the replays. That's what you need to do. But on tonight, while we've been in this series of When Loved Right, we talked, like I said, as the women singularly, and we spoke to the Men's Lounge singularly. I did the Redeeming Me series that was about us individually. And so on tonight, we want to add some extra love into the mix for the month. Because, some of us still single, God's blessing, he's going to send you good thing. In whatever path he's going to send it. But we wanted to talk to a few couples who have experienced love, marriage, and ministry. And so I want to bring on my dear friends who I've known. I don't even know how long I've known them, but I've known them. It's don't even, after a while, you don't even bother to count. Don't even matter. We family, okay? We've been together. We've known each other so long that we no longer friends. We family, but it's just been love from the heart. I appreciate them. I adore them. I don't think that they know how much I truly admire them individually and collectively as a unit. They are such a blessed inspiration, just graceful. Their love for God and how they move and just how they operate. Just real people, and that's what we need. And so they are in the persons of, and give them a big bravo welcome, Pastor Lindsay and First Lady Rhonda Jones. Come on up. Hey, family, how y'all doing?
We are good. We're good.
Yeah. My
good.
people is in the building. They in the building. So welcome to you. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you.
I'm happy you guys are here. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I feel like a candy store.
Glad to be a part.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, y'all, you're going to get such a wealth of knowledge, information, and just real truth. Because a lot of times in relationships, we expect our expectations or our perception is one way. And we forget about the real work. What we see on the outside, we might be walking hand in hand, but you don't know, that just 2 minutes ago, I wasn't even talking to you. Just 2 seconds ago, I wasn't even liking you. That's why your socks don't match, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But we struggle with relationships and really what love, marriage, and ministry is all about. And I don't want to jump ahead, but I'm going to bring up our next couple on this evening. They are me familiar, again, for real, by blood. Not just by love, but literally by blood. And they are no strangers to Thursday Night with Lady Dawn B, because Lady Maisha is one of the newest members of the ladies' room. And then we have my cousin, Pastor Angelo, who is one of the anchors on the Men's Lounge. So they've been on the platform before, but we want to welcome them back. Come on, Bravo Nation. Give them a big hello. Come on up, family. How y'all doing,
Team?
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good evening, everyone.
Good. I'm so excited. I'm glad to see y'all. Like, I don't even know what to do first. I feel like I want to shout and run. I don't know what. I just want to do them both at the same time. I'm not gonna do neither because my knees are not young anymore. So we just go.
We understand.
Right. The mid 50s, life starts lifing in a different way. I'm just saying.
Right.
But I thank you both, both of you. And when I say both of you, because they are a unit as well as their individual. I thank you, Team Jones and Team Brooks, for coming on to share with us on tonight on this topic of love, marriage, and ministry. And I think it's really important to talk about and to discuss, because we have the wrong perception of what this thing from love to marriage to ministry really looks like. Ladies, you get this idea, and again, this is like painful to me, but I'm going, it's the thorn in my flesh. I gotta wait for God to help me work it out. But we have these conversations, and we have embedded in the heads of a lot of us that the story of Boaz and Ruth, and every woman, you have them looking for your Boaz, and every Boaz is out in the field checking to see if he finds Ruth. And the truth of the matter is, some of us don't qualify to be either one of them.
Right.
There's a whole nother, couple called Hosea and Gomer that nobody talks about, but I love to talk about them, because some of us are Gomer, just let it be what it is, let it rest where it lies. And some of us are Hosea, some of us have some assignments to love those who are in hard to love places, and if we really do the history on these two couples and find out what the meaning of their story is, I think we would have a better understanding of relationships, but we've built up this thing about Boaz and Ruth. And I just feel it gives somewhat of a false perception of relationships and marriage at times. So I wanted us to be able to come on and talk about the realness of love, marriage, ministry, what that transition is like. Because ladies, a lot of us get into this, and it's just, okay, I'm just going to be me. Audience already knows how I am, how I get down. Y'all know too. So, I keep it on the real. Okay. A lot of us want to, we walk in the church and you see that, fine brother, or even not also, because the anointing makes you look different. The anointing makes you glisten, hey, we going to keep it real. We have real, it make you glisten, and the anointing is attractive. So women or men, we walk in, because I'm a preacher myself. I'm a minister, singer, all that good stuff, but we see men who are preachers, pastors, bishops, apostles, and everybody gets attracted. Everybody wants to be the first lady. Everybody wants to sit on that front row. Everybody wants to wear them pretty shoes and have the hat. Everybody wants to be on the arm of the man who everybody comes to the door, right, Rhonda? That everybody, the pastor's here, okay, you got the army of 10 adjutants, everybody assigned to their 2 feet to help the pastor get from the car to the door and to carry his stuff and make sure first lady is good and first lady what you need, and they want this place and you want this position, and you don't even begin to understand what you are really asking for, ladies. I think the part that we miss out on is the fact that you have to be really called, assigned, anointed, and appointed to that position to walk by the man of God. Because what not marrying, and this is where I just want to get it out in the beginning, because we're gonna talk. Y'all help me. Listen, stop me when I'm wrong and tell me when I'm lying. Am I good so far? Am I good?
Yes,
I'm
good.
I'm setting up nice. Okay.
You talking right.
Okay, now I've never been married to a pastor or a bishop. I am I am a minister, licensed all that, and I've been married, so I do know what it's like. I know what it's like from the opposite side of needing that partner and that covering. But ladies, what we have to realize, and I'm gonna help you tonight. This is where I start getting kicked out of the ladies' club, but you can't really kick me out because I got a lifetime membership, so it don't matter. So I'm fine. But what you got to realize is that man that you see in the pulpit, that is not the man. You're not marrying the pastor. You're marrying the man. And men, that woman that you see that's ministering or serving, and just doing in the church, you're not marrying the position. You're marrying the person that comes with a. Okay, let me say it again. Say it again. Okay. Say it again. I thought somebody said say it again. Say it again. Okay. You marrying the person that when they come off the pulpit, like I said, that anointing is attractive, but when that oil, it don't run all day and all night. There's a whole person. So we're gonna talk about it tonight. All right, y'all. All right, y'all.
Yes.
Okay. Right. I wanted to loosen them up. For y'all. So we're gonna keep it all
right. You said a mouthful there, and I can definitely, just go off of what you started out with, just your intro, because I think it's to a point where a lot of people romanticize the fact that, oh, I married a preacher, or I married a bishop, or I married this person. Not understanding, like you pointed out, is that the female part of it has to be graced for the position. Because there's a level of grace that has to come with the female part that has to be able to cover and deal with us when we come home. Right. And I'm gonna be honest, dealing with us is not easy.
Come on, sir.
It's not. Dealing with us is not easy. Not from the point of unbearable, but understand the level of attack that we go under every day. Understanding that sometimes we need to be by ourselves. Understanding that you may not get all of our attention. Understanding that, okay, he's having a moment. Let him deal with that moment. And be gracious enough or be patient enough to know that let him have his moment. He's not going anywhere. Right. Rather than I have to always be in his face.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir.
I've learned going on 20 years with him in August that I would say in the beginning, it was, you have two different personalities. Mm-hmm. No matter whether I've known them since we were kids, we grew up together, we're still two different people. So there's two different personalities coming together as one. Mm-hmm. So you're listening, you're listening to each other, and then you're not listening to each other. So you're like, okay, I hear you, but you're not listening. So you have to, in a marriage, you have to sit and listen. You can't always be the one talking, just running your mouth, not listening to what the other had to say. Because when you don't listen, then you start arguing, but you don't even know what you're arguing about because you didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's not even so much as him being a pastor, just human beings. You have to listen to each other and have a conversation. Let's not always yell. You don't need to yell all the time. Let's have a conversation. And we have a conversation, we can see what the other one is thinking. Because like I said, you're two different people, two different personalities. Mm-hmm. So you have to, I wouldn't say feed off each other, but you have to listen. Because if you don't listen, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's in any relationship, even if you're just dating. You have to listen to each other. If you can't listen to each other while you're dating, what you going to get married for?
Right.
Because you're not listening. No one is hearing. You're not hearing each other. That's like you telling your child something and they just walk off. They didn't listen to nothing you said. But then they come back and say, what you said? oh, I should have did what you said I should have did.
Yeah.
If you would have listened to me from the get-go, you would understand what's going on. And that's something that relationship, because you're like, oh, I'm grown. I ain't gotta listen to what you say. It's not that I'm telling you I'm trying to be over you or tell you what to do. It's just that I just want you to I'm telling you, I'm giving you good advice, pretty much. I'm giving you good advice, and I'm not trying to be controlling, but I want you to listen to what I have to say, because could be something that is good for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not trying to control you. Like Maisha, that's how you say your name, sis? Mm-hmm. Like if her husband, if Pastor Angela tells her something, she's like, yeah, whatever. You're not listening. He could be giving you something that's knowledgeable, that's tangible, something you to go away with. You know what I'm saying? That you could think about later. But you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he's like, but you're not listening to what I just said. So let's try to listen to each other. That's very important. Listening is very important in a relationship. Because if you're not going to listen to each other, then what's the point? There's no point. You're not listening.
You talking good.
Love. We can love in the bedroom, we can love out on the couch or go out to eat, but you have to listen to each other. That's very important. That's one of the important things in a marriage. You have to listen. I'm sorry I went off, but you have to listen.
No, you're good. This is what we're here to do. And no apologies. We good. And I want Team Brooks to jump in too, but I do want to read this comment and then just share a little bit. Alicia says, listen to understand, not listen to respond. And that was one of the things that I was going to say, because, oftentimes we are listening, waiting for our turn to speak. Mm-hmm. We're not listening to the content of what someone is saying. And then additionally, we as women, and I've said this before, the minute you hear the part of your mate's sentence that you do not like, we shut down. We get loud. We talk over him. He hasn't even finished his statement. He could have just been telling you how he felt in that moment, and the ending could have been really good. Mm-hmm. It could have been like, listen, I started out here. This is how I was feeling, and you made me mad. And you know what? Because blah, blah, blah. And the minute we hear we made him mad, and we don't like the fact that he's telling us we made him mad, then we go off. And he could have been saying, but if you let me finish, you would have heard me say, you made me mad in that moment, but it's because I wasn't listening. And I misunderstood. So I'm apologizing. So ladies, we got to learn how to pocket ourselves. Just have several seats so we can listen and hear and let the man get out what he needs to get out, so that we can then respond properly, not out of our emotions, but properly. I'm going to put my good glasses on because y'all know I can't see. I be playing with it. I ain't playing with it tonight. Welcome, Pastor Rosa. That's my mom, y'all. Y'all already know that's my mom.
Good evening, Pastor Rosa.
That's right. She hit perfection when she got to me, so she ain't have no more. She finished. Her job was done. Welcome, Pastor Rosa. She says, I think when you say there is more to it than what it looks like to the public eye, in marrying a person with a call on their life means have to be equipped to deal with what comes with responsibility. Yes, indeed, ma'am. We agree. You do have to be equipped to deal with what comes with that responsibility. Pastor Lindsay, you made amazing points. And, the importance of having these male voices on here is because, ladies, you need to hear it from the men's mouth, because, it's one thing when we sit around and we talk one to the other, and we could hype each other up. Because if I'm frustrated and I'm talking to my girlfriend who's frustrated, all she's going to do is fuel my fire, not bring me down, not bring me to a point of reason. So we got to learn how to be better friends and better sisters to one another, not buy into the misery loves company. So we're going to commiserate together, and then we both going home angry, and married women, listen, mind yourself talking to the single women who's never been married before. I'm just saying, sis, if you ain't single men, never been married, never walked this way before. I'm just saying. I just want to put that out there. Mind yourself, because you're gonna end up single like they are. Listen, again, don't buy into the misery loves company bandwagon. Don't do it. Don't do it. Come on, Team Brooks, jump into this great conversation, y'all. Come on, family.
Well, good evening to y'all. Good evening to Pastor and Lady Jones. Glad we gave y'all the opportunity to go first because y'all got all the years of wisdom and knowledge, and we still trying to learn. So we
learning too.
And I heard Pastor Jones mention grace, and then Lady Jones, you mentioned communication. So I think we need a little bit of grace and a little bit of communication to make this thing work. So I would say Pastor Maisha and I, we're just learning how to have grace for one another. Because we have our heated discussions, and we go at it sometimes to the point to where now we're learning, Lady Jones, how to have grace. We're learning what that grace means, and that grace means, at the end of the day, we're in it to win it. We're in it for the love. We're in it for the long run. So we might as well learn to have grace for one another. I may say something she don't like. She may say something I don't like. But at the end of the day, she knows my heart. I know her heart. So we're learning how to have grace and patience and all that good stuff with one another. And communication. My wife is more of a communicator than I am, so she talks more. I think we talk about this on the men's segment, how women have a whole lot more words in their vocabulary than men do, and we have to learn how to catch up. So we're honored to be on tonight and just kind of share in our love and how we're learning. We got 7 years in. We're still growing and still trying to learn how to do this thing with love, marriage, and ministry.
Absolutely. And I will say, just like you guys said, a lot of times people look at our lives and they say, oh my God, like you're the first lady.
It's very low. We can't hear her too good.
Okay. A lot of times, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of times people, like we said, look at our lives and they say that you guys have a life, you're a first lady of the church, and people don't understand that it comes with a lot of responsibility. It comes with having a prayer life. It comes with the responsibility of making sure, like you said, that your husband is covered in prayer. There's so many things that comes with the call outside of the glitz and the glamour, so to speak. Yeah. Like you said, it's a huge sacrifice. That's one thing that I like to let people know, that it comes with a sacrifice. It's a sacrifice to do ministry. Sometimes it comes at a sacrifice to your marriage. Like you said, you don't have all of your husband's time and attention. What are you going to do when there's a phone call where he has to leave and he has to go minister to someone? He has to go and he has a speaking engagement, and you all have plans. We've been faced with those kind of things, and like you said, we have to learn to offer grace, communicate those things, to let people need to understand that it comes with a foundation. Our foundation of our marriage may look different for others. A lot of times we put marriage on a pedestal, but at the end of the day, it's the foundation of God that keeps us going, that has kept us for the last 7 years. Our foundation in our marriage is God first. Oftentimes people miss the mark in learning and understanding that the heart of our ministry comes with dedicating and nurturing our marriage and nurturing our home. So that's the forefront. We make sure that we spend time together. We make sure that we do communicate. We do have that so that we can be effective leaders in our church community. Because if we're in shambles at home and everything is falling apart at home and we're on a broken foundation, how are we going to lead the people? How are we going to minister to people? And I think people don't understand that it takes that time, that energy, that grace, that patience, and effort in your marriage that's going to come forward as you're becoming and learning to become leaders as well.
Amen.
No, that's good. That's good for what you said. Blessings, Ron, Eric. Where's your faith? Thank you for joining, brother. And Lady Novoa is in the house. Just want to shout some more people out as you're coming in the room. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. I promise you, this is good stuff so far. And it's going to get even better as the conversation grows. We are here tonight talking about when loved right, the right way to do it. Love, marriage, and ministry. And I have my family with me tonight, Pastor Lindsay and First Lady Jones, and my blood cousins, Pastor Angelo and Maisha Brooks. They in the house, and we are talking about this thing of love, marriage, and ministry. And so far, they have shared with us that a few things that we need within this space is grace, communication, which leads to great conversation. Maisha, you brought up a really great point about how if you have chaos at home, how can you lead, the church? Church, now this is, I'm gonna have to sidebar from it because it's not even, it's kind of dual, but church needs to understand that the pastors to lead them in a, and I'm gonna say this way, so y'all, you know,
We got you.
okay, I'm just gonna keep it raw. The pastor there to lead you, but he does not belong to you. Mm. A lot of times the church will drain the pastor of everything he has, so much so that he has nothing left to give when he gets home. And that causes a problem. A lot of marriages fall apart because of that. That is one real issue that the church hides also. And men or pastors will take it on because of their calling, their commitment to God. You know, you should not be guilted into sacrificing every single thing, every single moment. God didn't call you to neglect your family to build the church. Your first ministry is your home. It's God, right? Family, home, right? Then church, right?
Yeah.
The church has got it backwards. They think that it's God, church, and then, then your family. Or then, no, that's not how it works. We got to get it, in order. And we have to make sure that we are not abusing our pastors and our leaders. We have to make sure that we are not taking advantage of them, because a lot of divorces are going on within the church, the place where we're supposed to be the example of love and forgiveness and grace. But we can't, because so much damage is done. A lot of women, first ladies, when you find out this is not everything that is cracked up to be, and then you want to divorce, you want to leave, you want to break out of this situation, because you feel disrespected and overlooked. I ain't even going. I'm not even. I'm gonna tread lightly, because I'm saying, a lot of people vying for the pastor's attention. He already has an attention. He's that position's already filled. Says, there's no vacancies there. You got to find another ministry. There's only one slot on this. And but it's true.
It is.
But it's, I'm just, we keep it real conversation. We're gonna free somebody tonight, but these are real things. But these are things that you then go home, and your wife, not the first lady, your wife is feeling some way in her emotions, and then you as not pastor, but now you as the husband have to deal with the wife, and this is the church that God called you to. These are just real things that happen, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, stop me when I'm lying. But these are the real things. These are things I've experienced myself, in my own, when I was married, and being in ministry and the demands of it. And it is a lot. So we have to make sure that we are creating that even balance, and making sure that we are letting our leaders be people, not expecting them to be the modern day prototype of Christ. Nobody ever said that we were. We all walk in the same journey. We all working out our soul salvation day by day. None of us are perfect. We're all going to get some things right. So we do have to extend grace in all of these spaces. So I want to thank you both for sharing what you shared thus far. I want to ask, anybody want to add anything before I have a question?
I do. I think that it's important to understand that it's a delicate balance between pastoring a church and then ministry at home. I say that because, yes, God called you to pastor a church. Yes, God called you into the ministry. And when you marry, you have to find that balance, that delicate balance, and you have to set boundaries. No need for a church member of the opposite sex to be calling a pastor at 10 o'clock at night.
Say it again. I ain't even married, and I want you to say it again. So the people in the front, not the people in the back, people in the front.
There's a delicate balance you have to have, because, first of all, if it's set up correctly, a phone call like that shouldn't even come to your phone. It should come to the first lady and let her deal with it. And then if she needs to chime in and bring you in, she can chime and bring you in. But that phone call should never come to you first. Only because of the way it will be perceived, not only by your not only by your wife, because now you're interrupting private time between me and my wife. And if that phone rings and it's a church member, and I get it, they have to be attended to. I get all of that. But there are some certain times where I'm going to say it like this: you got to seek God for yourself. Because nowhere in ministry are we pointing people to us.
Right.
We're pointing them to God. Yes, we are the mouthpiece. Yes, God used us to speak. But at some point, if you're training your people and teaching them the right way, let them fall on their face, let them fall on their knees, and let them cry out to God for answers to themselves.
That's good.
Because you coming to me for all the answers, I'm not going to have every answer for you.
Right.
There's only one that's going to be able to give you the answer, and that's Jesus Christ. He has all the answers for you. Now, will he use me to confirm the answers in you? Yes. But you have to learn how to seek God for yourself. And I think a lot of churches have failed in that concept of it's all about the pastor. It's all about the pastor. It's all about the ministry. It's all about the pastor and the first lady. I don't want the glory. I don't need it.
Come on, sir.
I want to push you to pursue Christ for yourself.
That's right. That's right.
My bishop says it like this: if you ever hear me preaching or teaching anything outside of the word of God, run. If I'm not preaching, if I'm not, he said, get your best pair of tennis sneakers and run.
Yeah. That's how we were taught. That's how we were taught.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to me to have all the answers for you, you're looking in the wrong place. Because I'm human just like you are. I have flaws just like you do. I get angry and upset just like you do. And so then if you're calling someone at that late at night, think about your spouse's response to that. How would they look at, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. What are they calling you for? Now your wife is upset, ready to snatch the phone from you, ready to just chew the person out. So I think a lot of times ministry doesn't set up boundaries, or not even set up boundaries, but set up protocols and like, okay, if you need someone after these hours, I'm going to designate someone in the church that you can call.
Right. That's wisdom. Yeah.
I totally agree, Pastor Jones, with what you said. And we're early on into ministry now, and we're learning how to, we realize what we have to do ASAP is make expectations crystal clear, but also set boundaries, because I was telling Pastor Maisha, how we start now is probably what people are going to be expecting later on if we don't set those boundaries, and if we don't have unrealistic expectations. It's kind of like when you go into a relationship and you started out with the whining and dining, and you go in one way, and then something, Lord forbid, something happened to where you can't continue that way. Then guess what? There are expectations that are already in place. Guess what? Somebody gonna walk away with their feelings hurt. Someone's gonna be hurt. Someone's gonna be let down. Why? Because you set these unrealistic expectations in the very beginning, or you didn't have boundaries, which cause issues and problems, like we said, in the home, in the church, and even if you have kids. I know for us, like Pastor Jones said, we are at the process to where our kids are older now, so we're trying to get them ready for their next level of life, the next level of living. I think the church in so many ways should be ran the same way. I'm not here to hold your hand through everything. You can read your Bible just like we read our Bible. You can pray. Yeah, you can pray just like we're praying. You can seek God for yourself. We've done the nurturing part. We've done the training you up, but now you need to take that and put it to works and learn how to even know what God is saying to you based on what we've taught and we've been teaching you.
Right, because the Bible says, and I take this personal, seek ye first the kingdom. I can't seek the kingdom for you. You got to seek the kingdom for yourself.
That's true.
And as you begin to seek the kingdom, you'll be able to now distinguish God's voice from everybody else's. And what I think a lot of preachers or a lot of people, we get used to hearing a certain preacher. And if that preacher doesn't come on, then God's not talking.
Right.
Talk about it.
That's not true. God is talking, but are you in a place where you can listen? Because you never sought to hear him, or you never sought to seek him first. So we as preachers have to do a better job of pushing people towards God and away from ourselves. Because the more we push, the more we say, the more we debase ourselves. The Bible says it like this. He says, if I be lifted up.
That's right.
Referring to Christ. Not myself, but if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. I don't have the power to draw you. Nor do I want to. But I want to push you towards someone, the love of Christ through me, to draw you to him. See, when you come see me, I want you to see Christ in me, where you can be like, what's different about you? What's different about how you speak to people, how you feel about people? It's not me, it's the Christ that's in me that's drawing you towards me, and I'm now going to push you to him.
That's good.
And give you the tools so now you can hear his voice.
Yes.
Right.
I think a lot of times we preach to people instead of teaching the people.
Yeah.
We preach to them on Sunday mornings and they get to shout and you want to shout. Shouting is good. But shouting is not going to help me solve my problems.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
Shouting is good. I get a good exercise in shouting. But at the end of the day, after my shouting, my problems are still going to be there. My situation is still going to be there. What tools and what did you teach me to help me out of my situation?
Come on, sir.
That's good.
That's right.
Because we now have to, and now with the internet and with everything going on, there are so many voices that people can listen to. And what I'm finding out is that if you're not talking their language, and what I mean by that is that if you're saying something that they don't want to hear, they're going to tune you out.
Right.
But we have to preach the gospel in season, out of season. And as long as you're preaching the unadulterated truth of God, let the chips where they fall. Where they lay, my wife just told me. I might have said it backwards. But
they can fall or they can lay, whichever one. It's okay.
But you have to. And what happens is people are now not seeking truth anymore neither. They're not seeking truth anymore. The Bible said they have itching ears. And people now just listen to everybody and they've put in so much stuff in their spirit. And what a lot of, and I know I'm on a tyrant right now, but forgive me.
It's all right. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
As saints or as pastors, and I think a lot of the church members come to us with brokenness. Amen. They come to us despondent. They come to us, how can I say it? Programmed. And we have to, I'm not going to say deprogram them, but we have to unlearn them. Meaning that we have to fix what's in your spirit first, which is the hard thing to do. Because you have been, that's just like a child growing up and you allow them to do certain things for 6 months. Come that 7th month, if you try to correct that problem, it's going to take longer to correct them out of that behavior because you let them do it for so long.
For so long, yeah. That's good.
We get so many people in our ministry that have been hurt or have been devalued as women and men of God, that when they come to us, when we start teaching and telling them the truth, they don't want to hear it because they have been so misinformed.
That's right.
And when you're disinformed and you're feeding into the disinformed, if you keep telling me a lie, eventually if I start believing that lie, somebody can come and tell me the truth, and I'll be like, that's a lie you're telling me.
Right.
And that's what happens with a lot of ministries. They get in these ministries, and then when they realize it's a lie, they try to get to a ministry that's telling the truth, but their spirit, they are so hurt by what they had or had in the past that them coming to you and you're trying to show them love, they don't want to even receive it because of their past hurt. And that's where the grace comes in. That's where the boundaries come in. Yes, I can talk to you here. Pastor, I just want to talk to you. No, you're not just talking to me. I'm going to bring my wife in the conversation. My wife is going to be in the room.
And I think, Pastor Jones, I think a lot of that is where that's where a whole marriage and ministry, that's where the battle begins. That's the battle. The battle begins because, like you said, you have broken people that come in. You have people that are unlearned, and you have to go back and parent again. Even if you've already raised your kids, you're like, hey, I already raised my kids. Why I'm parenting again? So that's where the battle between marriage and ministry comes in, because guess what? You got kids all over again.
Yes.
Right.
Like my wife and I, my kids may be listening in there. Who cares? we're trying to empty out our house now. I'll say that. We're trying to get
here, but mine ain't going.
Aren't we all?
But it's almost like having teens and having children that you have to, even if they go off to college, you still got to raise it. You still got to parent. You still have to. And when people join your ministry and they come from broken backgrounds, they come from this, it's almost like you have to deprogram them from what they thought was right. And you got to reprogram them based on the things of God. And that's what caused the conflict with marriage and ministry. Because at the same time, your wife needs your attention. At the same time, you got to be a parent. At the same time, you're trying to be a pastor. You're trying to be a mentor, a counselor, and then you're not giving enough loving on this end. So, and then that's where the whole heat comes in with the marriage and the ministry part. And then, as a result, my wife can chime in, and then you have a spouse that begins to regret ministry, because a lot of your time is devoted to the ministry versus being devoted to where we going for date night.
Right. It's important, everything that you guys have said, and I'm so glad that, again, this is one of the importance of having this conversation, and I hope that everyone listening is getting some real good nuggets out of it, because this is real time, real life. And these are real people, pastors, everyday people who pastor. And these are the things that we don't talk about. These are the things that we have covered up as ministry for so long. And we give the appearance of everything being perfect and shiny and bright, and it's supposed to flow and be excellent and no bumps in the road. But we give such a false perception that those who follow us and follow after, we're looking for something that you show us that you don't even have yourself. It's an expectation of perfection, because you make ministry look so easy when it's not. We make love and marriage and ministry, that whole trifecta, look so easy when it's not. It is hellacious work, literally. And it just is.
That word.
Keep it real. You didn't know before you know that I keep it 1,000. Okay, it is work. And this is what we are not showing people. So they're getting into it unprepared and ill-equipped. And when we don't show them the real deal of what it is, we're not teaching them how to navigate and manage their way through. So they come in ill-equipped, thinking that they are supposed to be served, when no, you are the number one servant. I will tell you, I went to seminary and we studied and our graduation, went to Hugie Theological Seminary, and when we graduated, and Dr. Hugie's father did the assembly, and he was like, you should be proud of yourself. You studied and taught all year long. You prayed and you fasted, and other people going out, and you were home. You wanted to go to the movies, but you couldn't go to the movies. You had to keep your spirit clean. You had to stay in the Word. If you wasn't studying the Word and you was praying, you didn't go nowhere. You went to work. You came home. All of this, and now here you got your, now you're graduating, you're gonna get your certificate, you're gonna walk down this aisle, and then when you leave, you're gonna walk out with your certificate and your nice little binder and all of that. He said, and what, people gonna congratulate you, they're gonna be happy for you, they're gonna want to push you forward. And guess what? You did all of that to be the first servant. So when I tell you how humbling that was, I said, oh, You go. This is what people don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go to seminary and Bible college so that you can come out and sound good for people to serve you. You go to seminary and Bible college to be the first servant, to serve well, to understand what your service is about. And in this talk of love, marriage, and ministry, these are the things that these couples go through that nobody talks about, that they become equipped with. Pastors cry too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pastors hurt too.
Yes.
Pastors,
Where's my Kleenex? Where's my Kleenex?
I'm just saying, you know, pastors need hugs too.
Mm-hmm.
Pastors need a moment too. They need a break too.
Yes.
You know, and again, we keep talking about this grace. It keeps coming up, and I love these conversations. I do. Please like, subscribe, and share, y'all. Get some more people in this good room. I know God is sending the word out to those who need to hear it, but it's so important because we want to help. Oh, we want to help build up our pastors and our leaders. We want them to stay married and in healthy marriages. And then what happens is when they fall apart, what disgusts me the most, and I have some questions we're going to get to in a minute, and I'm going to bring somebody else on with us to join in this conversation. But one of the things that grieves me the most is that when the pastors fall, the church is one of the first and the most high majority to share, to spread, and to show the information. Why? What happened to the covering?
Yes.
You spiritual cover such a one. That's what the word says. We cannot continue. This is the people who pray for you when you can't pray for yourself. These are the ones who cover you when you can't cover yourself. People think that the pastors, you know, people that there's, you know, that this is some type of wealthy stream or whatever. People don't know that sometimes the pastor's the first one who needs the food in his house because he's done put the money out for the pantry to feed the community. And guess what?
Please say that a little bit louder. I'm too low.
Ramen noodles and sharing one Capri Sun. Sometimes the pastor's sitting. That's right. Ramen noodles and one Capri Sun.
Not two. One.
Y'all gotta have like 2 sips today because you want something tomorrow. You know. But people don't realize, like, no, the pastor's not walking out with, you know, his pockets fat, and neither is the first lady. They had what they had before they came in to doing what they're doing. They didn't obtain the ministry; they obtained it before ministry. And I'm not saying that's everybody's case, but there are some. And this is the thing: we have to stop being a part of the destruction of our pastors and our leaders in ministry. When we're talking about love, marriage, and ministry, it is the love in their relationship, but it's also the love of the church to the gift that they are to us. The marriage part is not just about their marriage, but they are married to the church, and the church should be married to them, just like the church is the bride of Christ, and Christ is coming. You know, right? Okay, I'm trying to make it all make sense. I'm putting it together for y'all. You know, and then you know the ministry part is that we should be ministering one to another.
Yeah.
Amen.
When was the last time you prayed for your pastor and your first lady? When was the last time you just gave them $20 and was like, you know what, here, go get some coffee, you know, or you know what, let me take your kids for 2 hours just so y'all can sit in silence and you just walk around with your socks on, whatever. You know, right. Just let you be a person, but we're the first ones who will go and ask the pastor or the first ladies when we are having trouble. But it's reciprocal. This is a reciprocal relationship. So, you know, we wanted to bring light to it because so much goes on behind the scenes. And if y'all haven't figured out by now, pretty much every time we have a title in here, it is not always for face value as to what you see, because there's always so many layers to it. Everyone is involved in this when loved right, when we love each other right, this trail of love, marriage, and ministry. I want to read a comment. My mom says, I agree with Pastor Jones. The word we preach in the pulpit should be the same word we live at home. I am loving in the pulpit, then I should be loving at home. Jesus lived in the world, in the word, so should we. Pastor Chris Thomas Voice says, I'm the guide to lead you to your destination, period. He was talking about, as you were saying, Pastor Lindsay, about how, you know, you're there to teach them, you know, not, you know, lead them to God, not be God. And the people who listen for a particular voice, and then when they don't hear that voice, they don't think that it's God. Those are what we call fans, not followers.
Right. That part.
Let's call it what it is. We keep it real here on Thursday.
Yes.
Lady Devotion says, teach to reach. Amen, Pastor. Amen. Let's see. Anais says, look at how Lady Jones is looking at her Pastor Jones. Love it. Come on now. Say Mr. You listen. You better teach the people how to love on the good thing, not your good thing. You love on your good thing. Don't nobody else look at him like that, because then it's gonna be a fight. I got this. Don't worry.
I can tell you what the Bronx will come out. Try to keep it real.
Anais says, Dawn B, you brought in some serious spiritual artillery couples tonight. Love them. Listen, that's all I know. That's how I roll. I love my people. And they have been a blessing, good friends and family in my life. It don't matter. We don't have to speak it. You know what I've learned and
That's
I love
funny.
about them is that
That's funny.
So
That last
our
comment is funny. Slow down is good.
We're gonna slow it down. Don't worry. I got a few questions. We gonna hold it for a little bit. Thomas said they don't preach that no more. Okay, I'm done. Carolyn Hayes, my sis, says that's so true. That's so true. This is good stuff, y'all. We don't play here on Thursday night with Lady Dawn B. We not coming to play. We gonna make your time worth it because we appreciate.
Lady Dawn, can I say something real quick, Lady Dawn?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say real quick. We haven't been in this long. We've only been in this 4 years and still learning. We've been married going on 20, but ministry wise was started in 2019 when, I always wanted to come to Maryland, wanted to get out of the city, but, he said, God didn't say it yet. So I said to him, well, when God gonna say it? Because I'm ready to go. Can he say it a little faster? He taking too long. So he said, well, God didn't tell me yet that we can go. And I'm just sitting there like, oh boy. And then when he said, when God told me to be a pastor, I said, here we go. I said, I did not sign up for this part. When I married you in 2004, I did not sign up for the first lady part.
Wait, you said yes to Maryland, but you didn't say yes to ministry. Is that what the wrong M? You had the wrong M.
Right. We didn't know. It wasn't the ministry. I never heard that part. Okay, I don't know where you came from with that. You just appeared with it because I never heard it in the whole time.
You didn't check his bag deep enough. Sometimes they got secret compartments in the ladies. Check your man's luggage.
Right. Ladies, remember this part. When they come to you and they're ready in ministry as a minister or elder, be careful. Because you never know what the Lord's going to say to them. Just like this one over here. Okay? Came out of nowhere. I was like, what? Pastor who? Doing what? No. I stay in the background. I serve the food.
Yes.
I could be a usher, a nurse.
They said you pastoring. We're not pastoring. It's a solo call, right?
Roger Jones
call when it was a solo call.
Look, that wasn't my assignment. I don't know where you came with that from. Yep.
She said that wasn't in the contract. That wasn't in the contract, huh?
Wasn't in the contract. I need to go back
read the fine print. You got to read the fine print, sis.
It must have been the fine print. My glasses wasn't on because I ain't seen that part. So it's been, like you say, ministry is rough. Being a pastor first lady is rough. And I've been in ministry all my life, served under great leaders, Bishop and First Lady McDaniel, Eric McDaniel, and Pastor and First Lady Annette Cooper. We're under some great leadership. And I've seen, what they do and how to do and everything. But it's when you get in those shoes, those set of shoes right there, it's a whole different ball game. Okay. Yeah. That's the part where you have to keep how you feel. You got to be careful what you say. Because what you say to a person can really do damage, being as a first lady and a pastor. So you have to let God help you, in other words, choose the right words. because what comes out of your mouth can be really damaging. So I'm learning that as I go along. Yes, I've made some mistakes, even not even a year ago, but we're learning, and it's just hard work. Something I never thought that I'd be a first lady. What?
Come on now. Come on.
I told
You first lady in well, sis. You first lady in well.
Thank you, baby. I told Lady Dawn, I said, Dawn, I'm going to be a first lady. She said, nope. Nope. That wasn't it. That was not part of the marriage. She was like, you're going to be okay. But I thank God for friends,
Amen.
Sisters that have been there to help me and to guide me and give me little nuggets and say, you know what, sis, you're going to be all right. We're praying for you because Pastor Maisha, it's hard. It's some hard stuff. You know, a lot of times you're ready to let the boogie down Bronx come out, or let the run. The projection. So try to be that cool girl, first lady.
But trying to get the Bronx to be saved. The Bronx ain't saved yet. The Bronx part ain't saved. That's this.
Yes, that part ain't saved. Yeah. I try to keep that part back there.
And I think,
I
think a lot of times also what makes it hard is you give it your all. And my wife can attest, you give it your all. You're really giving it your all. Mm-hmm. And when it seems like you're still not giving enough, or from what the people just want, when you don't see people grow, when you don't see people take the word of God and actually apply the word of God, you're giving it your all. You poured out all you have. And then when you come home, you're tired, yes. And then you don't have, and that's where the whole ministry and marriage comes into play. We come home tired. My wife says sometimes, you done gave it all to everybody else. You ain't got nothing for me. And, right. and they have to. And so I understand, ladies, first ladies, what you have to put up with on the back burner, because it's almost like you have to be, and it's a sacrifice for all of us. Mm-hmm. But our hats off to our first ladies. And Lady Dawn, hats off to you too, because you've been there once. Hats off to you all, because it is a lot to deal with when, your husband has given all, as a lead pastor, he's given all. And then when you get home, he's depleted. So that's where some of the conflicts also can be within marriage and ministry. And I think, if your church is listening in, or my church is listening in, whoever church may be listening in on tonight, I think some of the key to it is if you give us a break every now and then. Just let us rest every now and then. Let us have a Sabbath rest time. We were on a Bible study or early morning prayer call last Wednesday, and I told the church, you got to learn how to say no. You got to learn how to say no. Lady Dawn, it took me a long time because I was out to try to be Superman, to try to please everybody and everything. But you have to learn how sometimes to say no, because you need that rest. Because how are you going to be effective as leaders and even in your marriage if you don't learn how to sometimes say no?
Absolutely. Like you said, you have to set boundaries for yourself, for your home. And as much as we love on people, we love the people, we have to have some time to ourselves. Like you said, I'm like you, ladies. I did not sign up for this. Okay, I was like, what? I'm gonna be a what? Do what?
Right.
What do you mean? Like, what? But
where'd you come from?
Where did you come from? Because listen, if I'm being 100% honest, I did not foresee this. I always joke, and I told him, I said, I always prayed for a man of God, but I thought I was gonna get like a deacon or something, like not the pastor.
Yes. Right. That's true.
I get it. Listen, I understand. And, for me, but before I make my comment, want to welcome tonight to the platform. As you see, we have an addition to the room. I just found it befitting that, we add a little extra on tonight in the person of Pastor Christopher Newton, a.k.a. the psalmist voice, that's been here all along. Say hey to the people, sir.
Man, look, I got all these notes right here. Well, you can't with the camera. I'm over here taking all these notes and I'm making trouble in the chat. So I guess I was called to come up to be amongst blessings of people like yourselves. Because, you guys have been dropping gems since you got on the air. And I've been writing them all down. so I can use for my next. Okay, I'm sorry, but God bless all of you, Pastor First Lady Jones, as well as my boy. That's my boy right there, Pastor Angelo Brooks, and of course, Aisha Brooks. God bless you. Thank you so much for allowing me just to come on this space, because I know it's for the married folk, but I think I got a little more gems I can add, because I mean I have been married before multiple times, and again I brought a lot of knowledge with the failures, so I don't come here looking for a pity party. I'm getting more results from my failures. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
Amen. Thank you for popping on, Pastor Chris. And just saying that Pastor Chris is, like I said, he is I asked him to come on as well, just to help to balance out, because he is one of the head hosts of the Men's Lounge. Who every Thursday night, you know, Pastor Lindsay, we're gonna have to get you on. We gotta get you on the Men's Lounge squad, sir. We gotta get you in this on the team. I'm just saying, you know,
that can be worked out.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. As soon as this is over, we're gonna talk about it. For real, don't play with me, sir. Don't play. I'm serious. I'm not joking. But because Pastor Chris brings that balance, you know, I lead the ladies' room. He has come on and agreed to lead the men's lounge. So, you know, we're trying to build a cohesive space for real, honest, and healthy communication, again, so that we can learn how to love each other properly, not just in church, but out of church, as human beings, as people. Because until we learn to love people until we learn to love others as people, we can't lead nobody to God, who we say is love.
Right.
How do we do that? So we have to live it, you know. So I just wanted to add some balance. And of course, he has a lot of knowledge. You know, like myself, we've both been married outside of, you know, listen. And for me, as y'all was saying, I wasn't the first lady. I was a preacher. I was the preacher, the minister, the singer. So, you know, after I've preached, done revival, I sang, I've done conferences, and I got to come home, you know. And at the time, my husband and my son, and he was little, you know, we were traveling everywhere, dragging my poor baby up and down, you know. And he'd be like, "Mommy, can we go? Are we going to church?" "No, Jay, we're not going to church today." "You sure we're not going to church?" "No, baby, why? You don't want to go to church?" "I don't want to go to church," because he had been to church so much. "Oh, baby, you want to go? Can we go play? Can we do?" So I had to learn that balance. Again, is so important, not just with my child, but with my marriage. I couldn't let you know, my marriage didn't come apart because of ministry, but I understood the weight of ministry within the marriage. And, you know, the person I was married to, that wasn't their calling, you know. And that's why I say you got to be called to the person, not just their position. You got to be called to the person, because when you are called to the person, you will understand how to walk with them and navigate that space through ministry. As God has called your husbands, although they were not first ladies, to their knowledge. The thing is, I'm gonna tell you how God worked it out. See, I'm gonna help you out. I'm gonna help y'all out, sisters. I'm gonna help my sisters out. Y'all didn't know you were gonna be first ladies, right? You didn't know that you was gonna be married to pastors. But when God created you, he put everything in you from the beginning. So he could not pull that out of you till he put you in the hands of your spouse, because it wasn't needed before then. When you got with your spouse, you did not know you had first lady qualities. And a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to other women that we see, who honestly are just faking the funk along the way to make it look good, you know, and not be real about it. I'm sorry, am I telling too much?
Tell it.
I'm just saying, again, I keep it real. I keep it real. But God knew what your mate needed, and what is in you is for him. You know, it's not for anybody else. Yours is you being the first lady. How you wear your first lady hat and walk in that role and responsibility is not going to look the same as Maisha's. It's not going to look the same as Rhonda's. It's different, and we have to stop comparing it, because your husband doesn't need what Angelo needs. You know, Pastor Brooks doesn't need what Pastor Jones needs, and that's why you're jointly fit. So you being that first lady is because you are his lady. That's what makes you the first lady and the only lady. There's only one lady. I just make it. But I want to thank y'all again. Share, everybody, like, subscribe, and share. This is so good. I'm excited. We're gonna have to do a part 2. I'm just saying. But I want to ask a question to couples. which is, and then I want Pastor Chris, you jump in as you see fit, sir. But my question is, as we're talking about this transformation or this transition from love to marriage to ministry, and while we're talking about being in these spaces with our mates, I want to ask how or what was your thought process and decision or final choice to the men? I'm going to ask this question. What was your, and I'm going to ask the ladies a different question. What was your thought process and final decision or choice in asking your wife to be your wife? You may have been in ministry already in some way, shape, or form, but you got to choose wisely, because I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision. You could date 59,000 people, but you're not asking everybody. You know what I'm saying? There's a process that you go through when you're thinking of, who is this person that I need and want by my side, not just so she can be there for me, but so that I can be there for her, because we have to serve each other. Does that make sense? Come on, Pastor Lindsay. You need another minute. You want Pastor Brooks to go first?
I'm okay. I have
what was
to
taking your decision? Because some men may not know. They don't understand that.
No, I mean, for me, this is my second marriage. Okay. My first marriage lasted 4 years? And so coming out of that marriage, it took me almost 1.5 years before I even wanted to date anybody again.
That's good.
For the simple fact that I was under the impression, and a lot of people are under the impression, that when you believe that God placed you with someone, you want it to be for lifetime. For different circumstances, it doesn't work out that way. And I had to come to grips with that, because for a long time after my divorce, I blamed myself. I blamed myself because I was the man of the relationship. I was the one that was the one that was the provider. I was the one that was, the head of the household. So going into another relationship, I came into the relationship with her somewhat broken. And so what made it easier for me to know that this was the one that God placed in my life was the fact she accepted me broken. Mm-hmm. She didn't try to heal. Well, no, she accepted me the way I was. She didn't try to say, hey, you're broken, I'm not going to deal with you. She loved me for where I was at. And I don't know if I know I probably said it to her, she probably forgot, but she was one of the reasons where I was able to get my self-confidence back. Mm. So when I was, I'm going to say reintroduced to her, I sat there and I cried, because I realized that she was showing me an example of what Christ showed me. Mm-hmm. Meaning that, hey, you messed up. I'm here for you. Yes, you're broken, but you can come back.
That's good.
And so when I realized that this was the person for me, we only dated, 6 months? Something like that, before I asked her to marry me. Because I understood that this was the person that all along I should have been with from the beginning. And she loved me back to where God wanted me to be, so now I can go where God wanted to take me. So every day I thank God for this woman, because of the fact that if it was not for her, who had helped me up to where I needed to be, I wouldn't be in a position that God was able to use me now. And I'll leave it at that.
That's
Come on,
good.
sir.
Wow.
Woo,
Wow.
listen,
Wow.
come on, Lindsay. High five, bro.
Yes.
I'm not mad at you. That's
Yes,
what I'm
girl.
talking. Rhonda, you better exude Christ. You better exude it. Okay,
She
that's what, ladies. Listen, you want him to find you. You better let him find you in Christ. The man said that he felt how God loved to. That was God's love. That was God's. That's what he saw. And Nate says, "Love me back to where God wanted me to be." Listen, I'm about to throw something at this here screen. I love the fact that you mentioned that she loved you in your brokenness. That is so key because everybody wants we want everybody else to be healed so that we can remain broken because it's the squeaky wheel that gets the oil, and a lot of times we want to remain broken so that the other person is, pouring out on us and taking care of us. Or when you realize someone is broken, we discarded them. But people often say, was it broken crayon still color? Sometimes I think the brokenness, is necessary, first of all. But second of all, it's necessary because in that brokenness, it takes off of you what you didn't need to begin with, just like the story in the Bible, where the ship broke up and the objective was to get to the shore. Nobody said that they was going to make it with the whole boat, and how they get there on the broken pieces. They had what they need. All you need is a piece. I'm trying to help somebody tonight.
Help us.
All you need is a piece, y'all. All you need is a good piece. Hallelujah. Don't be throwing the good man away because he's broken.
Yes.
Honey, find that good piece and fix it, Jesus.
Yes.
I'm just saying. All right. I'm going to come back to I felt myself going somewhere. I'm gonna hold my mule. Come on, cousin Angelo, because then I want the ladies to ask. I want to ask the ladies a question. And I want before I ask the ladies a question, I want my cousin Pastor Brooks to come, and then I want Pastor Chris to jump in and share because I know he got something to say. But come on, Angelo, tell us what was your process and decision, the final choice in asking cousin in love to bear your name. Come on, sir.
Wow, I would say first I'll say Pastor Jones, wow, our situations are so similar. You sure we're not family also? Is he in the family, cousin Don?
We family.
Wow, so my situation was so similar to his. My first marriage, this is my second marriage, so my first marriage was 4 years as well. And during that process, I was military, so if any veterans online, you know how we do. We're traveling around the world, and you get to the urge to where you want to marry. You don't want to do it alone, so you want to find someone to do it with you. And I rushed into my first one, and I realized that because of the call that's on my life, you have to have somebody that has that call or something similar. So I was divorced for actually over 10 years before I even, because Lady Dawn, I said I wasn't going to do it no more. I said I was done. That was it. I wasn't doing it again. So, I was busy. Yeah, I was busy raising my boys and just being a single father. And then Lady Brooks found me. She found me. I was busy. I wasn't looking at her. She was looking at me, and it's like. But anyway, so 10
you had
years
good eyes, cousin in love. You had good eyes.
Yeah, she found a good thing, But all jokes aside, most definitely, it was 10 years before because I went through the heartache, the pain, even medical issues and different things like that. I wasn't even considering getting back on the market or saw myself remarrying. While I was walking in ministry, as a young youth pastor and youth minister, executive pastor, we just kindled. Our boys played sports together, and there she was. And the thing that I liked for her, she was a go-getter, and we share a story. And I'll say this, Pastor Jones, you said 6 months. Ours was a little less than 6 months. So when I told her, I said, you're going to be my wife. She's like, what? What do you mean? She wasn't trying to hear none of that, Lady Jones. She wasn't trying to hear it. She wasn't trying to feel it. but I knew.
I felt it because she's sitting here. She felt it.
She felt it. That's right. She felt it. So long story short, she, we wound up dating for a little bit. It wasn't long at all. I'll leave it at that. She knows the numbers I don't. But I knew she was the one because she, you know, not only that she was after me, and I'm joking, but she had a heart after God also in the things of God. She was already working in ministry. She was already working with the kids ministry and doing the things of God. She had a prayer life. So she did some of those things. And I knew that it was God ordained because I said, okay, God, you know where I'm headed. You know where you have me headed in my life. So you gotta, if you're gonna send me somebody, you gotta send me someone that's after your heart as well.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's kind of our story, long short in a nutshell.
That's beautiful. Listen, y'all better go ahead with knowing what you want when you see what you want and get what you want, and never mind the numbers and months and years. Listen, claim your stuff, man.
Yes,
I'm just saying it's beautiful. No, I think it's beautiful. Having gone through, you know, being married before. And I've been married twice. I'm consecutive, at least I'm consistent. You know, married twice, divorced twice. I keep it consistent. Yeah. So that's what that is. But you know, my story is a little different. I was outright disobedient. I was having a Jonah experience and I was running. So I was trying to, you know, go the opposite way. Not trying to mix ministry and relationships. So, you know, I just kind of trying to keep my lives separate. Didn't work out that way. I was straight out disobedient. I ain't gonna lie. And that's what happened, you know. In both cases, I was just wrong, loud and wrong. So I was like, "You gonna get it together? That's your own problem. You go ahead." He let me have my Egypt experience. You know, you had to, you know, keep going 40 days till you got Egypt out of you, because you can't take Egypt into the promised land. God said, I asked God to change the taste in my mouth. He said, absolutely not. I will not. He said, because what the taste I put in your mouth is the taste you're supposed to have. He said, get up from the table and get to your right table. I'm not changing nothing. You change. Right. I said, oh, okay, God. So I sat myself down. I did. I sat my whole self down. Listen, all of it. All 5'5", size 24, 26 on a bad day. I all go sat down. That's what I did. Inside until I was done. I'm just saying, y'all. Yes. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing because you know what? When you become who God has called you to be, ladies, I just want to share this before I let Pastor Chris come and share. And we do have a question in the comments. We're going to get to that. But I understand that when you become who you're supposed to be and who God is calling you to be and serving in that and walking in that authentically with integrity and sincerity, the man that God has for you is able to see you then, because that's what he's looking for. He may know you before then, but he may not see you until you are walking in that. And I say that just for instance, like if you go to the store, you know, you're looking for something, you're not sure what it is, you go close shop and be like, but I'll know it when I see it. And you see something on the rack, it's like, that's close, but it's not, no, not yet. But then when you get to that one spot, it could be mixed in with 10,000 other things. Hear what I'm saying, ladies? Yes. It will stand out, right? It will stand out. And you don't have to fight. You ain't got to, it's gonna come off the rack just like as if it was meant to be yours, because it was. So when we're operating, what both of them were saying in comparison is that these women were already standing in who they were in God. They knew who they were in God. They were working, they weren't doing it to get any man's attention. They were doing it to get the attention of God. And by doing that, it drew these godly men to them and made it very clear. And it didn't take them long to figure it out. No. They was like, I know mine, and that's okay. Just okay. What you want to call her? I'm gonna call her Eve. Okay, all right. And God agreed.
Lady Dawn, I got something for you right quick. I'm sorry to interject, but and this is
come right on.
Okay. And this is for you. This is for you. I said no. I'm telling. I'm sitting here saying, calm down, calm down. But I hear God. This is for you. God saying this is going to be your year. He said, this is your year. He said, continue to do what you're doing. He said, continue to be consistent. Continue to be faithful. He says, daughter, I hear your heart. Wow. I'm sorry. He says, I hear you. Wow. He says, I know your desires. He says, I'm going to give you everything that you didn't receive then. You're going to receive it now. He said, 2024 is going to be your year. So get ready. Get ready, because God is about to do. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go on.
My God.
We do what we do here. It's free. It's free space. We let the Lord.
And he
move.
said it's going to be like a platform, like this platform that we own tonight. He said, because you're faithful and because you're centering yourself around ugly, godly couples, he said this is going to be your marriage one day. He says your spouse is going to be sitting right there beside you. He said 2024 is about to be the turnaround for you, and this is about to be your year. So get ready, sister. Get ready, cousin.
Jesus.
All right. Well, I received that. You know, you're jacking me up a little bit, but I was, I'm gonna keep I'm gonna keep my hostess self together. Thank you, Lord. I receive it. Amen. Come on, Pastor Chris, get myself together.
Now, how am I supposed to come behind that?
How do you follow that? How do you follow that?
I'm sorry.
I mean, giving God all the glory. Sometimes God got to move in the most unconventional way. Yes. I'll go into this by saying, from a man on the journey right now, right? I've had 3 failed ones, 3. So I got both of y'all beat by 1. Not anyway. I'm not trying to. All I'm saying is, I can honestly admit, as a man, from being very young starting to being in my upper 30s, and I still didn't get it right. Problem was, I didn't have me right. I was running from my destiny, running from my call for 25 years. I already knew who I was when I was in my teens. I was already called, already knew I was supposed to be bigger than what I am now. But Chris had his own plans. So I chose my own path. And guess what? Everyone has a Jonah story, right? So you're in the middle of your mess, but God keeps talking to you, right? Gentlemen, I'm quite sure you know where I'm going here. You in the middle of your mess, knowing you ain't supposed to be there, but God's still talking to you. You with your homies getting lit up from the floor up, but you the only one that can't seem to reach that plateau. Everybody else is plastered, and you still... God's still talking to you in the middle of your mess. Okay, so this is my testimony. I can't speak for anybody else. Right. I had to go through HELL to become who I am today. Right. Now, have I still made the perfect choices? Absolutely not. In the last year and a half, it totally changed my life, and that's a whole nother show for a whole nother time. But what I am saying is, it changed who I was as a man. When you've gotten your heart ripped out of your chest, and you are supposed to always walk in your call. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to moan. You're supposed to always operate in your gifts. You're supposed to always do all this and all that. But then the human side of you starts to kick in. And you're like, I want you to see the man that's hurting, not the talent, not the gift, not the call. The man is hurting. So again, when you involve yourself in situations, got t-shirt, hat, MP3, right? You use those situations to cope with something that you never dealt with yourself. And you utilize that avenue to find that coping mechanism, but it never comes to you because, first of all, your healing is a divine healing first. Second of all, you got to be man with your stuff that if you tore up from the floor up, you got to be man about and say, you know what, ladies, I was never who I am today. It took me years to even talk about it. You think I'm proud to be this and I'm proud to be that, or my testimony is just straight jacked up. How in the world God going to use a wretch like me? I say it all the time, but those are the people that he uses. Time out for the perfection, ladies and gentlemen. Time out for trying to walk this divine thing and trying to articulate and expound and say all these deep revelations and all this stuff to get everybody's emotions all high. It's time out for that. If you're trying to find your man or your woman of God, it's going to cost you something. We hear that all the time in churchdom. Yeah, that's my made-up name. Because not all churches operate like this. But the some that do, we operate on this whole different scale of everything is so great. Everything's so mighty. And all you have to do is just fast and pray and boom, You'll be here, and then next week you'll be here. God's gonna catastrophically blast you to the next atmosphere. Saying all this stuff. Okay, let me stop before I get in trouble. I'm gonna close it because it's a lot. Because I'm hitting into the little stuff that they said earlier, and I'm trying to get my little 3 pieces in there. So again, we get so deep into the prophetic, the call, and the purpose. That's a great gift to have. I don't knock it, and I like to say I'm no prophet, so don't cash at me. So please don't cash at me. So again, all I'm saying is when you tap into that vein, and you know you're not supposed to be in the situation you are in, but you keep doing it anyway, it's going to cost you something. It might cost you your house. It might cost you your car. It might cost you your nice jewelry and your gator shoes and your silk suits and all that stuff. It's going to cost you something, right? So when God humbles you, even you ladies, I'm making it a whole perspective here. But when God breaks you down to the core value of who you are, Chris, Dawn, the Joneses, Angelo, Maisha, when he breaks you down to the person of who you are, that's who he can use. Not the title, not the degree, not what you do. All that stuff is show to make you, the viewers, or you, the congregants, or all of our constituents we preach with, talk with, dine with, go to all these nice restaurants with. But God don't care about that. It's the core of the value. That's what makes a marriage last 20 years. It ain't about who looks. You know, I want to look like Pastor Jones and Lady Jones when I get older. See, I'm already getting there. I already lost my hair, Pastor Jones, so that's gone. So I can't get that back to save my life. So now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get the gray going on. But I still got a few more years. But anyway, let me stop. But anyway, and still be just as cool and cut like Pastor Angelo and Maisha. She just sitting there like, these people crazy. But I know she's recording in the back, and she's going to have a debrief after the show and say, Angelo, let's have a debrief. Come on, put some coffee on, honey. We're going to debrief this because they dropped some gems. But anyway, let me stop joking. So how can we get to that point of asking someone to marry us? I know for me, I'm scared to death. Why? Because I fell too many times. That's the Chris in me. Now, the God in me is a whole nother story.
Right.
But like all of you ladies just said, if there's a connection to your next, it's going to be God ordained. It's not going to be flesh ordained. Yeah, they can look great. They can have all of pieces like Reese's and all that stuff. But the yes is going to come from because see, nowadays it's different. Now I know it's a little different back then, but now it's hard. You ain't gonna just ask no woman for you got your own house, your own car, you got 6 figures out. That's a whole nother show. But anyway, all I'm saying is that we're talking about being a first lady. You kidding me? You want me to boy bye? You know, and that's usually the cutoff line right there. When you say you're a pastor, guess what? You ain't getting no second date or even a first date.
Right.
What you're saying. So I'd rather say it now, get it over with before I get all caught up in it. And then next thing you know, oh, I'm getting ghosted. Like they say, this new word, I'm getting ghosted. So again, I'm like, all right, let me just lay it straight real quick. But anyway, I'm talking too much because it ain't about me, it's about y'all. So I just want to land that nugget a little bit because again, coming from that vein of being a divorcee, going back into this whole thing of being single again and been in a relationship and it didn't work out because I had too much stuff going on I didn't heal from. So first of all, you need to take that time. Take that time to heal because I never did. I jumped from relationship to relationship to relationship and I never healed Chris, and Chris was all jacked up from all 3 of them and still ain't heal himself. So how can I be available to anybody when I ain't deal with my own mess? Okay, I'm done.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, if you have never experienced before, is Pastor Chris, aka the Psalmic Voice. Make sure that you join him and the crew on the Men's Lounge where they keep it live. It is just the platform of testosterone, and I'm the only estrogen there. Okay. But no, this is good, great conversation. I love it, and I love it. I want to get to the ladies, you know, you guys, and this is really This is what we come to do, again, to have real, honest conversation, because people need to know and understand what you're really getting into. You know, God is the main factor and the center of any relationship if you're a believer. But the thing is, you have to use God for what he's there for. And I don't mean use in the sense of use and abuse, but God has tools that are available to us to navigate us through our relationships. And if you don't use him in the proper way, you will go from love to marriage to ministry, and it will be all jacked up. It will be all messed up. You will be in a vicious cycle. You will be loving the same spirit with different faces. My God, that's a whole nother message. I'm just saying. But when you put God in the middle of it and really do what it is that you need to do, he will navigate you through it. And this is about making better choices. We're all sharing our true, real stories. Again, told you, we are not professionals. We are not experts. We are coming on to share. We're not here to convict nor convince, but we want to help we want to let our experiences count for something and help somebody else maybe stop along your journey so you don't have to go as far as we did. So I hope it's helpful. I hope it's blessing. And I mean, we could be here all night, but we all gonna do a part 2. But I want to get the ladies. We're gonna do a part 2. I'm telling you, y'all better be ready. Pastor Lindsay, you're gonna be in the men's lounge. That's all I'm saying. This is what it is. I want to get to the ladies, and then I want to address the question that's in the chat, and I think we'll end with that as well. So, ladies, just as I asked the gentlemen, I want to ask you how and what, because this is about making choices. They're sharing how they came to their choice and then their decision. Because you could have chosen to date a whole bunch of people, but then you had to come to a decision of who is really your wife, who you doing life with, who are you partnering with, who can I trust me with to partner with me, who can I trust to cover and carry me. You know, and ladies, it's not one-sided. A lot of times we think that it's just the man. No, he covers you. You have to know how to undergird him. Something Pastor Lindsay said was, you know, one of the things is that Rhonda spoke life to him, is basically what she was saying. Even in his brokenness, she knew the words. God gave her the words, and not because she was trying to get anything out of him, but she was trying to get something to him. She was graced for the space that she's in. When you can love somebody as a friend in their space of friendship, you know, and in their brokenness, listen, that is a blessing in and of itself. And great relationships are made out of that amazing space. And the same thing with Team Brooks. So, ladies, I want to ask you, now that the men have shared their gems and jewels, and I hope y'all were taking notes. I'm going to ask you, ladies, how was and what was your thought process in decision to say yes to partner with them in marriage? So, Maisha, you been quiet, so we gonna start with you.
I'm not gonna try to
Come on, cousin in love.
So for me, my dating experience, I was a single mom, and I had dated kind of here and there, right? I was always one of those women where I never wanted to be single. So I was always naively like hopeful that, oh, this is gonna be the one. Oh, this might be the one. This might be the one. It wasn't until I took the time to start developing my own personal relationship with God that I started kind of moving different, seeing things differently, you know, being more patient for what God had for me, right? So you know how most of us ladies, we have a list. We have a list of what we want him to look like, and, you know, all of those things that are going to make the man of our dreams, right?
Maybe that was my problem. I didn't have that.
I had a whole list in my head of what I knew that I wanted. And I tell the story all the time this way for a certain reason. So again, when Pastor Angela and I met, you know, I was a single mom. You know, our kids met through Beyond the Same basketball team. I was not looking for a relationship. I wasn't looking to pursue anything. I had just, you know, maybe a year or two prior, had just come off of just a horrible dating experience. And I just wasn't in the headspace at the time. At least I thought that I was looking to date anyone. So I tell people all the time, because I wanted him. At the end of the day, when I met him, he's different. And I say that because I'm going to be 100% honest. Angelo wasn't someone that caught my attention. You know, he's quiet, he's very shy, you know, meek. And I'm kind of, you know, like, my personality is like, hey, you know, how you doing? He was kind of like shy, quiet in the background. So I was like, I'm not looking at this man. You know, he's nice and all, but I'm not really looking for him. But I say that to say a lot of times we as women and sometimes men, we have this perception of who we're supposed to be with and how this person is going to come into our life and how they're going to act and sound and look and talk and walk. And Angelo wasn't that. If I'm being honest, he wasn't my vision of what I had for what, you know, the man that I wanted. I'm wild and free, and he just is quiet. You know, like our person, everybody laughs because our personalities are so opposite. But it wasn't until, you know, we had an initial conversation just about life and ministry and what God was calling us to and where we were in our lives at that time. And so when he told me, like our first conversation, he was like, "You were gonna be my wife." I said, "Y'all, this man is desperate. He don't even know me. Like, you don't even know me. What do you mean I'm gonna be your wife?" Like, yes, seriously. I was like, "Oh no!" Like, he moved. You know, in my mind, like he's moving too fast.
Well, desperate looks good on you, because he was right.
Listen, I was just like, okay, you know. But if I'm being 100% honest, I just, you know, I had never experienced that before. You know what I mean? He wasn't looking for anything from me. He wasn't looking to take advantage of me. He was sincere in his statement, but I had never experienced that before. It wasn't until that I took the time, honestly, to pray. I fasted. I asked God, you know, I wanted someone more than just someone to have fun with. I wanted somebody who was gonna, you know, come into my life and have a purposeful marriage. I wanted someone that was gonna be an example to my son. You know, my son at the time, he was 9 years old. You know, and I said to myself, you know, if I'm raising a man of God, I want the example of a man to God to be in my home. This is something I had been praying for. I prayed for a man of God, you know. I didn't know what that would look like and what that would be, but when Angelo came into my life and I prayed and I received peace and confirmation. I can't focus, this man so silly, but I received confirmation from God to say, this is the purpose that you asked for. You asked for a purposeful marriage outside of your norm, outside of, you know, someone wanting to sleep with you and someone wanting to just be there just to say that, you know, oh, you my girl, you my lady. No, this is something that's purposeful. And so when Angelo asked me to be his wife, it was without hesitation, without thought. And if I'm being 100% honest, it was something that evolved over time. Like I didn't just automatically fall in love with him day one, but I fell in love with the God in him. I saw the patience that he brought into my life, the kindness, the love, you know, those things that I had, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest with you all, I had never experienced. But I knew God's love when I met him. And so when he asked me, it wasn't even a thought not to say yes. If that makes sense.
It did. It made perfect sense. Listen, you got it. You got it, cousin love. Listen, I think that is one of the most beautiful things that you could feel, that you fell in love with the God in him. And I'm trying to remember exactly how. I've never forgotten this. My dear friends, Pastor Cooper and Lady Lynette, known them. Pastor Cooper is my friend. He's since we was like 16. We all basically grew up together. But when he married Lady Lynette, one of the things in the conversation that we had was, she said, and I never forgot it, she said that she knew he was who God had for her because she felt God loving her through him. I've never forgotten that. And ladies, that is something that we don't think of, we don't consider, you know, that we really probably should keep in mind. And first of all, we have to know we have to let God love us first so that we know what it feels like. So when he comes along, you know, like this is parent, like I feel God, like that, that's you, you know, you're loving me the same way that God does, you know, in the same, in a different space. That is really good. And I love what you said about, you know, that he may not have been the vision of the man that you had. Now, like I said, I was probably my fault. I didn't have a list. So I didn't even know I was supposed to have a list. I don't know. You know, nobody told me that part. I didn't have one. You know, for me, I've never had a particular type, or if I did, I didn't really know it. And honestly, I've always thought of the concept of love when we're talking about these lists and visions of who it is. Mine was never caught up in like a look per se. You know, I like pretty things. Absolutely. We all love something great to look at, you know, but my thing was, it was the character and the integrity. Like I find beauty in people by how you care and how you treat others and myself, because you can marry somebody who is off the chain gorgeous, but guess what? What happens if that's what attracts you to them, and that's what keeps you going to them? What happens when they lose their looks one day? What do you have? What happens if you go blind one day? Are you still gonna love that person? Are you still going to like that person? Are you still going to manage in that relationship? You can't, because what you were in it for was what you saw, or what you see. And that's why it's important that we fall in love with the character of a person or the integrity of a person. Learn to like. I want to like you. I don't want to just love you, because
Right.
Feelings fickle and emotions change. But if I like you, I like the person you are, like that's gonna last, because that speaks to the core of who you are. So I'm gonna work on that vision. Maybe I don't know. I'm gonna leave it alone. I don't need
Work on your vision board, cuz.
I'm good. I just let God show me what He can show me. That's all I'm leaving. Right. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for you give me his glasses so I can see. Yeah, because I don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss it. I love that. Come on, Lady Rhonda. Come on and share. What made you say yes to the man that you to that one?
Well, I'm about to shock y'all real quick.
Got my popcorn ready.
I've known this man since we were about 5 years old. Wow. Our families were very close, very tight. Went to every cookout, every gathering, vacations, everything. As we got older, he dated other girls in the church, because we all went to Bishop Alan McDaniel's church. So that's what we grew up at, the Great Emmanuel Temple. So our parents was on the cooking committee together, and the this and the that. So, it's been a long tradition. And as we got older into our teens and 18 and so forth, and we kind of went apart. He moved to Connecticut and everything. I got married when I was 21. Felt that I was ready, because I had the family life where I was helping my parents with my siblings. I'm the oldest. So our younger siblings, I was helping, cooking, cleaning, all that stuff. Okay, I'm ready for this. It didn't last long, because I had this image in my mind of how he should be like my dad. My dad is a Southern man from Alabama, so he took care of everything my mother wanted for nothing all her life. Didn't have to worry about not a drop of nothing. So that was the image that I had. So when I did not get that, it was like something went wrong here. So things did not work out that way. I thank God for the daughter that came out of that. She's 25 now, here with us. But I thank God for what came out of the marriage. Then what's so crazy is when I separated from my first husband, he was separating from his wife. Did not know this until I saw his sister at church one day, and she was like, she called him Linky. Linky got divorced. So I was like, oh, he did. Oh, okay. So, but I prayed. I said, God, if I do this again, it has to be who you are bringing me, not someone that I'm going to go find, because I'm not searching. I can't be bothered. My attitude, I have my father's attitude. Look, you can't come correct with me. Don't come at all. So I had the attitude is, look, you're going to come with this, and this. But then I had to sit back and say, okay, God, it's whatever you want for me. So I said, if our circles meet again, I said, this is who you want me to marry, then our circles will meet again. Because when I got married, I found out that he was sitting in the seat crying.
Oh.
He was crying at my wedding in the scene. So I was like, okay.
Whitley!
So I found that out but a couple weeks later, I was like, what? It said, yeah, he cried the whole wedding. I said, what? I couldn't believe it that he cried the whole wedding. So I was like, okay. So I said, okay,
the whole wedding? Bruh.
What are you gonna say, Lady Dawn? What are you gonna say,
the whole wedding, bruh?
What are you gonna say, Lady Dawn?
Bruh. The whole wedding, no?
What?
I was just gonna say that they need to go and write William Cosby for the Different World piece, because I think that's where they got it from. But they didn't put the crime piece in there because they had to make it dramatic. So I think they need to get their rights to that scene, because that was right on point, right there. I'm kidding, bro. I'm kidding. But yeah,
what she failed to mention is, did you go to my prom or I went to yours?
Oh, he went to my prom. He took me to my prom.
Oh, y'all are funny.
Yeah. He took me to my prom.
That was
so I took her to her prom, and then she can marry somebody else.
Well, you somebody a prom.
No, wait a minute. Okay, so I get it. Because he put it all in perspective now. He put it. See, Pastor Chris sent me his glasses earlier, so I get vision right. So I got it. I see now. So because you went to he cried through the whole wedding because he had been loving you since the prom. See, so that's why he had it was built up. So he had to do the whole thing. He has letting it all out at that one time. You wrong, Rhonda. You wrong.
Oh. But he was gone. So I don't.
Girl.
You know, as you grow up, we're like 19, 20, something like, all right, he's doing his own thing. I'm gonna do my own thing. It just ain't meant to be. So when I got married and that didn't work, I said, okay, God, was it meant for us to be together? If our circles are coming back around, let me know. I said, because I do love him, but I wasn't going to end his marriage. Mm-hmm. You know, that wasn't for me to do.
Right.
You know, I wasn't trying to end my marriage because of him. It just did not work out on our own. But God made it to where we came back around again and gave us a second chance. And when I met him, we went to I gotta tell this part, I want to make y'all laugh. We went on our first date.
You can make it us laugh since you started.
We went on our first date to City Island, and we went to what's his name? What's the name of the place? When you first go in, when you first pass the bridge and make the right left turn.
It's City Island.
JP's.
JP's or the lobster stuff. Lobster box.
We went to JP's. We sat near the water, and we were talking and reminiscing. And I'm eating, and I'm like, well, why aren't you eating? He said, I'm not hungry. So he sat there the whole time and did not eat. So I said, well, why are you not eating? I'm not hungry. So I'm like, well, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. So, I mean, like I said, we've loved each other for years, but never really expressed it until we got older and was like, you know what? It's meant for us to be together. This is what God destined. We had to go our different ways and learn different things to come back to each other, because, you know, he had a way of thinking. I have a way of thinking. And I think if we would have got together back then when we was like 21, 22, it would not have lasted. We had to learn from our partners that we had. And so once we learned from each other and from our partners, then it was like, okay, we know what to do now. Even though in the first 10 years, it was hard because, you know, I still was expecting some things that my father instilled in me to be done by the man, by my husband. But then I had to realize, you know what, we in this together. Okay, I'm not here to put him down, and I'm not here to tell ladies, don't tell your family, your parents, everything that is going on in your house between
that's
you.
That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother.
I just had to put that out there. Keep what's going on in your house.
Okay? We're gonna get to that in part 2, right?
Because what happens is they start to treat your spouse a different way when they know too much. Okay, so when you go outside, you're like, hey, hey, babe, what you want? You want something to eat? We at the house. You pick up the plate. Say, babe, what you want to eat? Blah, 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 blah. You give him his plate. When we leave, we go home. Like, well, I'm not finished what I was saying. But when you're out amongst the people, they don't need to know what you were just talking about in the car 2 minutes ago. Okay, put your smiles on. Put your face on. Keep it moving. But back to what I was saying, we loved each other since years and years and years. God brought us back together. I thank God for him. We, like you said, we do have our moments. We're not perfect. We have our arguing moments where I look at him like, are you crazy? What is wrong with you? And he knows me. I'll shut down in a minute. I'm still learning. I might be a first lady, but I'm still learning, because my thinking is, if I say something and you're not listening, that's why I came with the listening part. If I say something to you and you be like, da, 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 I'm like, well, you ain't listening to what I said. So now I go like this. I go quiet. And when Rhonda goes quiet, it's a problem. Because that quietness stays, sometimes it could be for a couple of days. I still love you, but I'm afraid that if I say something at that time, it's over. It's a done deal. So I try to talk it out, but I'm still learning to get to the point of when we have talked it out to leave it. Because I still can be like, well, I know I said my piece, but I'm still saying. So, I mean, Lady Dawn, I'm trying. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still trying it, my baby. I'm still learning. Oh, my princess. Good night, baby girl. I'm still learning. And I want to tell the ladies, even though it's been 20 years, it's still a learning process. We're still learning each other. Things happen to where we're like, oh my God, let's talk. Let's learn to talk. So we are learning to talk more than argue more. It's been a great years coming that we've been here. We've been good. But before that, I'd be like, you know what? It's marriage. I'm about to go. I got to go. Take me and my kids. We out. Gotta go. I don't know where you going, sir, but we gone. You know what I'm saying? I had to pray and say, God, look, this is who you gave me. I want this to work. I'm gonna make it work because this is my partner for life. I'm not going no place else. I'm not doing it with nobody else. Like Pastor Chris said, dating time dating these days, it ain't for me. I can't. Bye, boo and bye. I can't do it.
The thing is, you don't have to. You don't have to no more. Because
I'm not going nowhere till death do us part.
Right. And even then, we're going to be roommates when we get
there. Eating together.
Together. Right. I love y'all. This has been the most amazing conversation of When Love, Right Love, Marriage Ministry. There will be a part 2 for real. Mommy says, 2 beautiful couples. I love it. I love it too much. I'm so blessed. I tell you, I'm surrounded by.
Oh wait, somebody said. So when you got divorced, how was he? Did he come get it right away so you won't be a gun again? He won't lose you or younger. I'm trying to understand what.
So when you got, I think she was talking about when you got divorced. Previously, the thing was, come get it right away so you won't be gone again or lose again. You talking about taking advantage of the moment. You know,
Oh.
when the opportunity came up, it's like you best to jump on it so you don't miss
Right.
out.
That's why he said we was not dating long, because it was like we already knew each other. So what do we have to date long for?
Because you know what, we didn't need him crying on the road at the second wedding. We didn't need that. I mean, you might have cried at the second wedding this time, but it was for a different reason, bro. You redeemed yourself.
Oh, poor Jones, Lord.
So I love it. I love what you said, sis, about
as we watch one for another.
We got you, Pastor Jones. We feel you. The brothers feel you, Pastor Jones.
I'm just saying, but you know what? Look at God. He worked it out. He said, "No, I can't have my son going out like that again. I got to fix this."
That's awesome.
But you said that, you know, you said something to God that you can't go searching again, and I understand that. That was the place that I was in. In all honesty, after my second marriage, I realized, even in the midst of, again, like I told you, transparent. I was absolutely disobedient. I was the queen. It was just, can't nobody disobey like I can. I promise you. I promise you. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna go. If I was going to hell, I was going hard. Okay. If I was going to disobey, I was going hard. I meant that with everything in me. So, and I'm not proud of it to say, but one of the things was when I came out of those situations, I put myself into I started going to therapy. I was still ministering. Nobody knew, still ministering. And this is one of the things that we knew that we do. Ministering broken, ministering hurt, ministering bleeding, ministering on empty, you know, but still giving the people what they want. But I was still messed up. So I took myself to therapy because I realized that there was a common factor in both situations, and that was me. And that's why I said, you know, a lot of times we're dealing with the same spirit with different faces. So I said, God, it can't be that. Like, I got to find out what's going on with me. And when I did that and I separated from everybody, from everything, you want to talk about losing everything, you want to talk about cutting people and things off. I mean, God took me through a whole detox for a good while. I mean, so much so that I moved, y'all know, from the Bronx, this city girl, absolutely, all the way up in these here good mountains, you know, where I live now. But God had to separate me from everything, every environment, you know, so that there was no residue. Because sometimes, you know, we heal from stuff, but there's still residue. And that residue will cause, it's easy for things to attach to the residue and grow again, you know. And so we have to make sure that we totally clean ourselves out and allow God to do that. And I'm saying that in regards to you talking about, you know, you can't go searching. That was one of the things that when I came to myself, and I really realigned with God and started wanting what God wanted for me and started really walking in. I'm like, y'all think you know me before, or you think you heard me sing before, or you thought you heard me minister before. But no, now I'm walking in the fullness of who I am, owning who I am, no longer on my own. I'm not running, you know, not wanting half relationships, not looking for the Band-Aid. What I did was, and I'm going to be honest, my second husband was all of the pieces that my first husband wasn't. So I ended up marrying the other part of him, and together they was like one amazing man, but separate. I wasn't really seeing it until I got into my second marriage, because now the first part is gone, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, hold on now, you know. And so it just, the math wasn't mathing. And that's what I had to realize, like, okay, God, it's me. And we do that. But I told myself I wasn't looking, I'm not searching, I'm doing, God, I ain't doing it. I was like, you know what? If you're going to have to burn a bush, you're going to have to send a smoke signal, you're going to have to write it in the sky, a deer is going to have to talk, it's going to have to happen. You know, I was like, obviously, I can't choose right. You know, and that was the problem. I was choosing for me, but I wasn't fully walking in who God called me to be. And I was running from that. And so I said, going forward, Lord, you know, it's your will. And I think this is one good place where not having a particular vision benefited me, because I needed to be open to what God wanted from me. He's like, I'm going to give you everything that you want, the way you want it, the way you need it. You know, you have to trust that the package that I'm going to send it in is going to have the capacity to manage and handle and be equipped with everything that you need and want for where you're going. You know, so when you talked about you not doing the searching no more, God gave you and sent you exactly what you needed. When we take our hands off and we let God do it, he does more than we could even imagine. His ways are not our ways, his thoughts are not our thoughts, and he gives us more than we can imagine and more than we can handle. So I want to thank you guys so much for this awesome conversation on tonight. I cannot wait for part 2 because y'all coming back. This is some good stuff because we got to
say one more thing before you even decide to close it. While you was talking about your whole situation, it's I'll put it this way. Everybody goes through their own process of where God wants them to be. You go through yours, I go through mine. We have to walk out that process.
Yeah.
Now, my process to get where I was going, she had to go through her process to get where she was going. And what happens is, if I didn't allow or I didn't walk through my process, I would have never been in a place to where we would have met each other again. I say that to say this: embrace the process.
Amen.
Because if you don't embrace the process, you're going to miss out on your end goal, because God is putting you through that process for a reason. You might not like the way he's taking you through the process. You may not understand why he's taking you through the process. You may not even want to go through the process. Because what happens is, to remind me of the story of Abraham, if God would have told Abraham everything he had to go through, Abraham would have said no.
That's true.
And if God would have told us everything that we had to go through to get to where we're at now, I would have told them no. Mm-hmm. See, God will show you, why am I going here? God will show you a glimpse of where he wants you to be. He'll show you A, and then he'll jump over to D, then he'll jump over to M, and he'll show you even the N. But what he doesn't show you, what you got to go through. Right. And what people have to understand is that, yes, God will show you glimpses of where he wants you to go, but you have to walk through the process. And during the process is where he's making you. Mm-hmm. And when he decides to make you, Pastor Cooper taught me this a long time ago. He says, when God takes you through the process, it's not like you're going through elementary school where if you don't pass, if you keep going through, they'll just push you through. God is like, you got to pass the test. You're going to stay here until you get it right.
Do not pass go.
You're not going to go past go until you get it right, because if I take you to where I need you to be, I can't move you to the next level if you didn't pass the first level, because the second level is going to be harder than the first one. So you got to go through the process. And what people don't understand is that they abort the process and they abort the mission, or they abort their promise before they even get started, because they don't understand the journey they have to go through.
Right.
I just want to encourage every single person, every couple, every married couple that's on the line. It's a process. Don't abort the end goal because you don't like the process. The process is just to make you. You want to get to the end goal, but you got to go through the process to get there. And if you keep God in the process, everything will be okay. If you don't believe me, read the story of Joseph. God showed Joseph in the beginning 12 stars. He showed that the 12 stars would bow to him. He never showed him what would happen in the middle. He never showed him the pit. He never showed him his brothers trying to kill him. He never showed him being sold to Potiphar's house. He never showed that Potiphar was going to put him in jail. But all of that made him who he was. So at the end of the day, he was the one that saved his family.
Right. Got you in position.
Embrace the process. The process is there to make you, not to break you.
That's good. That's good. That's right. Go to bear the process so you can get in position. I'm a witness to that. I know, had I not embraced the process, like you said, I would not have aligned myself to be in position for what God has, and I trust him. I'm like, God, just do what you do, Lord. Just do what you do. So I want to give space again. I want to thank everybody for joining and tuning in with us tonight. This has been amazing. When Loved Right, Love Marriage Ministry. We gonna do part 2 in March. I promise you we are. We gonna bring them back. This was amazing. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. I want to leave space for final words from Pastor Brooks, Team Brooks, as well as Pastor Chris before we close. Lady Maisha, you want to speak on behalf of y'all?
Yes, I will. Of course, it was amazing. Love the experience. Every time I've gotten on here, it's just like, let's go. Okay. So thank you so much for having us on. It was so nice to meet you all, Pastor and First Lady Jones. I love your story. I love the love and energy that you all bring. 20 years is something to aspire to. So definitely keep sharing your story. I love it. I love it. I love. Okay. Pastor Chris, I love Pastor Chris because he gonna bring heat every time. Every time he open his mouth, it's fire. Okay, I mean straight
every
fire,
time,
spitting every time. But no, in all seriousness, though, thank you so much for having us on. This was really good. You guys always bless me with the opportunity, not just to speak, but I'm able to glean from everyone's words. When you all speak, it just lets me know, you know what, God is still doing the work. He's still doing the work in me as an individual. I get to hear and glean stuff that you all say. I get to take with me, and I'm taking my own notes, and I'm learning more about who God is in my life. So thank you so much for that. On behalf of Pastor Angelo, he had to step out. He had another call, but I just wanted to say thank you all. We are still learning and growing in marriage and ministry. Again, we aspire for 20 years. You know, it's a process. Like you said, it's a process. Like, it's an everyday new journey, new ventures. As long as you have God as your foundation, you can make it through anything.
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, cousin. Thank you. I want to, before Pastor Chris come and share, thank you, Pastor and Lady Jones. These are my friends for like I said, they not even friends. They family for real. I love them from my whole soul.
Love you, Lady Dawn. We love
real
you.
life, you know, and Team Brooks is legit my blood. Like, it flows in the same vein, literally family. And I thank God for you guys. Pastor Chris, I always say, listen, here's an experience and an encounter unlike any other you will ever find on this side of heaven. Thank God there's only one of him, because the Lord knows that the world could not take two. So come on, Pastor Chris, come do what you do. Shit, listen, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Be you. Come on, sir. Share with the people your final comments.
Well, first and foremost, I have to go behind Lady Maisha and, again, Pastor Jones. So how am I going to compete with that? So here we go. I'm gonna read my notes and be politically correct on tonight. Okay. Shall we have the benediction? Okay. So I was basically what I've been learning, and just to give just a little nugget on being the male side. Now, if any men out there know of raising daughters, right? Now, I can say this because I was a boy dad for most of my adult life until my daughter came into my life. She's 7. So now I'm learning a whole different thing now. Now, of course, grandparents, if your kid's grown or whatever, and then you get your granddaughter, it's a whole different experience. I'm learning how to be sensitive. I'm learning how to listen. I'm learning how to listen beyond the cry. I'm feeling emotions that I never had before, because with boys, you just put the boxing gloves on and just go to work. That's what we do. Or play the game, or something like that. But with girls, you can't. Come on, let's put the gloves on. You can't do that with girls. You got to have tea time and play these little weird games, and your masculinity's put on check. No, I'm just kidding. But you do those things because you want to make that connection. You want that little girl to see her dad or her granddad as a superhero, right? Now, what I learned from this experience is that no matter what your exes said about you, I'm about to crush on some corns. No matter what show so-and-so said about you, the ones you ghosted, the ones you played out, all these folks that you did all this mess, right? It's this one woman in your life that will never see you as any of those people but her superhero, right? So I looked at that and I said, you know what? This little girl No matter, I can completely mess up right in front of her face, but all she sees is who I am here. So I looked at that. I said, you know what? Why am I beating myself up to try to make myself be like someone else? Or try to be Pastor so-and-so or Bishop so-and-so, try to articulate and expound like this person and that person. I'm me. Mm-hmm. My pain was my process. Uh-oh. See, I'm trying not to preach. All right. My process was my rebirth. Okay? And my rebirth is my redemption. See, oh my God. Okay, we close it. All right. So I'm saying all this to say this. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care if he dogs you out. I don't care if she dogs you out. I don't care if they call you all kinds of names in the book. Whose report you gonna believe? You gonna believe JJ and M's, Quay and M's, Pookie and M's, or you gonna believe God's? Because all you need is a connection to the vine. It's called relationship with the King. He will revive the mess that's all up in you. He will restore you and revive you and make you look so sexy that your next will be your forever. And you'll wonder why we got Pastor and First Lady Jones going strong for 20 years plus, right? They came all the way back. They was teenagers. They was falling in love then, but they didn't know it. They had to go through all this process, brokenness, all this stuff. And God has a funny way of bringing all these things right back around. But you have to be in the plan. And a lot of us want to beat the plan. I was there. I did it. And that's why I had the message I had. So don't go before God. Don't try to be God. Don't try to be the matchmaker for God. Because God, I'm tired of waiting because look, my biological clock's ticking, or I'm losing all my hair, I'm getting all grayed out. God, I need some. Look, sometimes you need to look in the mirror, and sometimes you need to be grayed out to find who your next is. Just saying. And of course, for Team Brooks, it ain't too late for y'all. Y'all just beginning, but you got too much knowledge at the table to fail now. And it's always in the worst place in your marriage that the devil's going to try to break you apart. Because God gave you an unconventional way of meeting each other in the... Okay, I'm no prophet. Please don't cash at me. I'm going somewhere. See, he does unconventional things at unconventional times. But see, some of us in churchdom like to control the narrative. We like to play matchmaker. We like to say, oh, well, God made a divine order because you and Pastor Brooks were in line with the right Shando and the Sunday. You know how we do. But it wasn't even like that. It was on a whole different trajectory. And God said, you know what? Bam. You're like, what? I don't even, what? And he was like, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm good. Hey, what's up? I'm Angelo. What's good? That's probably what all he said. He was like, oh my God. Girl, let me call my good friend. All he said was, I'm Angelo. Girl, I was messed up. See, it's little stuff. It ain't the Big Mac lines. It's not the car you drive. It's not even the gear you're wearing. You can say the simplest things and have a First Lady Jones and have a First Lady Maisha Brooks, and you can even have a possible First Lady Dawn B. You know, hey, you never know. I'm just saying. But anyway, let me be quiet, okay? Because we got a part 2, and I'm trying not to get stirred up, and it's too late. So I'm just going to be nice because it's late for y'all. It's still early for me. I'm all the way in Texas, so we still early down here. But y'all late in the East Coast. So I'm going to hush my mouth, drop my mic. I'm done. Love y'all. God bless you. And I pray that God has blessings on your marriage for another 20, 30, 40 years and teach us knuckleheads how to love this thing right. God bless you all.
Yes. I told y'all a whole encounter and an experience. This has been amazing and great. And it is phenomenal because of what each of you bring to this table. I'm just happy God chose to use me in this space so that I could be here to connect with each of you. So I want to thank you, Team Jones. I want to thank you, Team Brooks. I want to thank you, Pastor Chris, so very much. I want to thank you, Bravo Nation, for tuning in as always, for being here with us. This is good and great, and we are going to be back. I'm telling you, we can bring them back next month for part 2 of When Loved Right, Love, Marriage, Ministry, because we just can't cover it all in one day. You know what? Might have to eventually just put together like maybe a Saturday Zoom conference or something. We're gonna work it out. Just let the people, because we need to help some people. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying we need to help some people out. Okay. We just need to be the blessing. Okay. Our experience has to count for something. God didn't bring us through and bring us to for us to be selfish. We want to help some other people. We want to normalize kingdom marriages, healthy kingdom marriages again. Right. So we want to share our experience. But I want to thank you for tuning in on tonight. I want to invite you to come back with me. We have one more Thursday in February. Next Thursday, it is going to be the end of the series of When Loved Right, and we are ending it with a open mic poetry night where we're going to come on and share about, we're going to talk about love. I'm going to be reading a couple of poems from my book of poetry called Soul Poetry, Matters of the Heart. Bring on my co-author. If you want to be a part, hit me up. It's no problem. You want to come on and share something about love, a spoken word piece, a poem, let me know. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. I love you. God bless you. Good night. Be safe. Be encouraged. Team, hang on 1 minute as we close. I'm going to see you in the back in the green room. Good night, everybody.
Shine a light on my imperfections like a projection. Every struggle and lesson, your issues ain't your oppression. Never got a question, they pushing me to progression like I'ma make the rest of my life live. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Yeah, I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'ma make the rest of my life live. I'm gonna make the rest of my life the best of my life. Congratulations on the celebration. I know I don't whip out and need never validation. No congratulations on no celebration. I know I don't whip out and need never validation. Yeah. You ain't with the loser on the floor. Get down. Let me clear my throat. Yeah. Oh, that's better. That's better. Somebody pass around the offering. Since I'm always preaching on tracks, you feel me? I'm about to get paid for it. Sermon of the day. You right where you supposed to be, baby. Informant, that information for me. Important, you get a portion of fortune pouring. Confession, fortune me blessings on now they snoring. You mellow, so focused on scoring. Got you underperforming. I never expect something, never assume nothing. Judging me for my past, but that's why I'm triumphant. I don't demand, I know where I stand like engineer hands. Watch how my life pans. Cut that game plan. Show out like a drop top, pop out like a cross top. Telling the quick rock, skipping the course, squares like hopscotch. This gonna be my mood to my beat drop. Putting my boogie shoes